Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Evolved Dad Shortcast. So, recently my family and I were on a vacation. Unfortunately, we were thrown into a little bit of a unexpected situation. So, we had booked a place for us to stay, and the place looked gorgeous. The view was stunning. The accommodations looked amazing, and it was the space that we needed. It just it felt like home in the pictures. Unfortunately, when we got there, it wasn't so homey. It felt like somebody had taken a picture of the place right after it was set up, painted, and built, and then just forgot about it for I don't even know how long. And that really threw me for a loop. Um, I didn't deal with it so well up front, especially because I was also going to be working from there for part of the time, and the accommodations for my workspace were terrible. Let's just say I had to be very creative to get something decent set up. So, why am I bringing this up? I'm not here to complain to you about this. There was a few things that we learned from this experience. And I'm not even going to talk about the things that we learned about as far as booking for a vacation. But as part of personal development, as becoming a dad, being a better father, was that it's important to keep working on yourself and that you're going to have times where you're going to fail. You're going to have those times where you've been working so hard on doing the best that you can and even doing better than your best. Maybe it's remaining calm. Maybe it's not getting so upset. Maybe it's exercising, eating healthy, whatever it may be. We're going to have those times where we're going to fail. And it's important not to lose sight and to say, that's it, I'm done. I can't do this. This is just not for me. It's important not to think like that and to take a step back. Remember that you are human. That's normal. It's normal to fail. But normal is not good enough. You don't want to be normal, otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You want to be above normal. So it means getting back up, whether that means apologizing for how you acted or just cleaning up your behavior. Maybe it's making a chart so that you can stay on top of how well you're remaining steady and consistent with whatever you've chosen to improve with. Could be setting a goal of where you want to be, whatever it may be. But it's important to regroup. It's important to take a moment or a few minutes and to reflect on what happened, but then to get back to it. And don't spend too much time trying to regroup. It's more important that you get back up and get back at it, and then you regroup at some point. Don't let it sit for too long because you want to make sure that you still have a good memory of it. And our minds can play tricks on us. Something that I like to do when I don't have the time is I'll use a recording app on my phone and just talk it out. Talk over what happened in the situation and what I did. Not necessarily thinking it through what I could do about it, but at least to catch what I have now from memory and save that for later. Maybe I'll write something up on a piece of paper, jot down some notes, type it up, whatever it may be, but capturing it now and saving it for later. Because these moments are more important than the good times for us to capture. These are the moments that we see our weaknesses, and we're only as strong as our weakest link. So, by being able to pick those pieces out, we're not doing it to harp on the fact that there was a failure. It's not to harp on the fact that there is a weak link. The idea is to be able to identify to grow. So, identifying that there is a weak link here, What is that weak link? How can I then strengthen that weak link? But doing it with compassion for yourself and doing it with a focus on growth. Because sometimes it can become overwhelming. If we that weak link that we do have, and everyone has a weak link. It may be at different stages, different levels, and each person has their weak link in different places. It's important to take that and not be hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself, because the more you beat yourself down, which is something that I used to do very often, the more you beat yourself down about something, the less of a chance there is that you're going to come back from that. There's more of a chance that you're going to be deterred and you're going to walk away, which is what we're trying to avoid. The idea is not to get deterred and to run away from it. The idea is to say, this is my weak link now, but it is going to get a lot stronger, and it's not going to be my weak link forever. And then putting something into place in order to figure out a way so that there's a growth from here on out. So, to get back to the story, as we stayed I personally had flare-ups where I was getting upset about certain things. Just to give a little bit of context, the doors were falling off the hinges, or the hinges were really falling off the wall for the doors. Bathrooms weren't working. The place was disgustingly dirty. The outdoor furniture was literally torn up. I don't know if it was just from years of use or kids playing on it and just destroying it. It was pretty messed up. And to make things worse, the owner was almost oblivious to it. It felt like a big white lie. Everything was theoretically there, but most of the things weren't even usable. And I did apologize to my wife at one point for saying, that I did get upset and that I was yelling. And I didn't want to ruin the vacation. I didn't want to ruin the vibe. It just became so overwhelming for me at points that I just lost it. And again, mental note and taking note, what am I going to do from here on out? And one of the things that I did is I spoke it over with myself. And I kept repeating to myself, this is not so bad. This is just the place that we're staying. The next time that this comes up, don't scream. The next time this comes up, don't get upset. And it did help me trim it down over time. Definitely wasn't perfect. But I also learned different ways of approaching it. When I would get upset about it, I would say something to my kids like, and we see how that we have to, it's so important that we're getting annoyed by the destruction here or the deception. We don't want to do this to other people. So our lesson is be honest with others. And when somebody brings us an issue, discuss it with them. Don't just push it back in their face. So, lessons taken from this. Don't be hard on yourself in a situation where you're being put to the test. Work with yourself to grow. That's the best that you can do. And that's what you should do. Because not only is it improving for yourself, it's going to help your kids as well. Number 2, take out lessons from the situation. Speak it out. Speak out how you're going to grow from this. Number 3, if you come across a situation and you don't have the ability to make long-term changes, you need something that you want to make changes sooner, talk it over with yourself. Have a conversation maybe with your spouse, or if there's somebody else that you can confide in that you feel they're going to help you with that. But don't do it alone. Realize that there are so many other dads out there, so many other people out there that want to help you. Make use of it. We're all trying to grow. We all want to see each other succeed. And hopefully you don't have such an exciting experience like we had. But if you do, remember, you have it in yourself to be able to accomplish, to be able to grow from it. Don't just say, I can't. As always, I want to thank you for spending your time with me today. This is Jonathan, the Evolved Dad, signing off.